barbecue, bacon. She's
Tony Montana, turn the microphone on,
you hear
bro.
me?
I can hear you.
I'm 21 years old. I'm watching. 9 years old. First thing come.
My man, what was city you from?
Cleveland.
Yeah. You know, I be forgetting, man, that I've been around for a long time. And some of y'all, some of y'all were born in like 2004.
Yeah, I was born. I've been watching U.S. on the TV since I was 9 years old.
My man, much respect to that, man. Shout out to all my young folks in here, man. Where are my 2000 babies? Where are the cats who were born in the early 2000s? Where y'all at? Put a hand up if you were born in the early 2000s. It's amazing. Nigga, I got clothes older than y'all niggas. Nigga, I still got belts and shoes older than some of y'all in here.
So, look, I gotta call the FBI because my landlord is a suspected white supremacist, and
I love it.
she threatened me, and I don't take kindly to threats. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that if I threaten a white person, I won't live to see the day. You see what I'm saying? I'll be in jail. But she allowed to threaten me and get hostile with me, right? So,
I'm so surprised that they even got it through Netflix.
We're gonna see if they gonna make good on those threats. I don't take kindly to that.
He put a bunch of stereotypical stuff in there. And I think he went to the suits up there and presented it with all of the stereotypes. So they were so happy to see the stereotypes. The hidden message beneath it, I don't even know if they probably caught it. You know what I'm saying? It's like the movie The Spook that sat behind the door. In the 1970s, the blaxploitation movement was real large. All of these cheap movies would be produced a lot of times independently, and the major studios, they would just kind of write a blank check to them. And it wasn't that much money. You know, you can get a couple $100,000 and make a movie back then, and you send it to the urban theaters and it make money. We were going to the theaters like crazy in the 70s. We were flooding the movie theaters, so damn near anything you put out that was black between 1971 and 75, it was going to make some money. We just wanted to see black stuff on film. And plus, all of those theaters were empty because white people fled to the suburbs. So now black people were getting in those theaters, watching movies, and we were having a great time. So in the 70s, all you had to do was put drug dealers, pimps, hoes, and niggas with guns in movies, and bam, the major studios would write a little check for it to get produced or whatever, and then put it on out. So they did the same thing with the movie called The Spook Who Sat by the Door. One of the studios put it out thinking that it was going to be another one of those jive, sucker, pimp, hoe, get whitey movies. They had no problem with that. But the movie, there was an underlying message to it. The movie was actually about gangsters and drug dealers coming together to wage guerrilla warfare against the government. So when they found out what the movie's undertone really was, the white executives, they were like, oh, damn. And then the federal government, the FBI, went around theaters around the country. They pulled the movie. They literally went to theaters around the country. They were like, oh, hell no, y'all, we can't show this movie. The federal government went in theaters and started pulling that movie. The movie was out of rotation until like the 80s. But yeah, they pulled the movie because at the time, remember, you had the Black Panthers was still popping. You had organizations like the BGF, the Black Liberation Army. You had black organizations that were really putting in some work in this country. They were waging guerrilla warfare. They were hijacking planes and they were blowing up police stations. So now you have this movie promoting that. They panicked. And the executives at the film studio, they didn't catch on. They didn't catch on to the underlying message. So that ties back into this, they clone Tyrone. I don't even know if the executives at Netflix really understood, how deep the movie was, the underlying message in it, because that's a hell of a deep movie. It's a real deep movie. Y'all really need to watch it. shows basically how stuff in the hood is controlled by white people. All of the negative stuff, they clone all of the negatives and push it in black communities, which is actually true. Just like with the Sukihana thing, I made a tweet earlier that got the white supremacists mad. I said, hey man, the videos of the Sukihanas and all of these musty hood rats twerking, that's white supremacy because they're the ones who are financing it, and the people who consume it are primarily white. When you go to Rolling Loud and all of these rap concerts, look at the audience. It's primarily white people in these audiences. A lot of these rap shows out here is primarily white audiences. And the thing is, the dirty hood rat culture of the twerking all over the place, that's something that white society likes to promote. Black society, we're always condemning that. That's been condemned left and right by black society, for real, for real. The only people who co-sign it are the hood rats and dusty niggas. Let's be real. Let's keep it a buck. When we see the Sukihanas and all of that dirty, musty twerking all over the place, and here's another thing. A lot of these broads are coked up. That's another thing, too. When did y'all make cocaine cool? You got a lot of these old cocaine sniffing niggas out here now. That's like the new thing. You dig? A lot of these women out here are coked the hell up. Let's keep it a buck. It ain't just weed. These are cokeheads and the whole nine on whatever drug. But let's be real. Let's on some street shit. Them dirty twerking hood rats that you see in these videos, square black society and upscale black society, they don't co-sign that. And truth be told, real street niggas, for real, don't co-sign that.
Started back when I was like 14, 15, just recreational use, and then all of a sudden it turned into a habit, which turned into an addiction. I went from having a whole lot to having a whole lot of nothing, and went back to being houseless again, and living on the streets. Finally decided that I wasn't going to allow my little girl to see me high. Buprenorphine has been a lifesaver. Learn how medications to treat opioid use disorder saves lives. I'm an entrepreneur and he's a drug dealer. But we ain't no damn detective. I don't know what that was, but that wasn't me. I'm conducting experiments on us. It's in the chicken. You could pull me to the pinky laboratory. I'll be out your atmosphere.
Let me tell you, real street niggas don't like dusty shit. If you're a real street dude, a hustler, I'm talking about, when I use the term street nigga, I mean a nigga who's getting money in the streets, not just a nigga hanging out in the streets. If you just hanging out in the streets, you ain't no real fucking hustler.
You know the police ain't gonna come help a black man.
Hustlers got better things to do than stand on the corner with dusty niggas, because ain't no money in that.
Yo!
And if there was some money in that, you would have another nigga standing on the corner for you. You understand?
You funny
real
as
hustlers
hell.
ain't standing on nobody's corner, bullshitting around, unless you checking some paper. But the thing is, a real hustler, you ain't gonna have no use for one of these dusty twerking hood rats. They're the most useless motherfuckers in the game. If you got one of them dusty twerking hood rats, let's say, nigga, you trapping. You're not gonna leave your work around that. Keep it a buck. If a nigga got a trap house somewhere, you got some bricks somewhere, are you really gonna leave your stash around some musty twerking ass hood rat with a janky weave and a possible coke problem? Really? And if you're sending them on the blade, you damn sure ain't gonna get one of the dusty hood rats because they ain't gonna make no paper. But real hustlers don't even like that, man. Real hustlers don't fuck with that. Dust begets dust. Dusty hood rats only be around dusty niggas. You know? Just keep it a buck. They're useless to real hustlers. That's why when you see on First 48, whenever something go down, nigga, it's the dusty hood rat. When y'all dusty niggas be out here shooting people, you accident murderers, when y'all shooting people, it's all the dusty hood rat is the one who's giving you up. They're the first to give you up. when they say on First 48, yes, we got Pookie Johnson from an anonymous tip. Led us to Pookie Johnson's residence. The anonymous tip is a hood rat, all right? Whenever you hear the term anonymous tip, that means an anonymous hood rat. Some hood rat gave you up. You dig? Some bummy hood rat that told on your ass. And then you get in that room and then you start telling just like the hood rat. You start telling on everybody else. Yeah. Dust begets more dust. So yeah, that's useless to square black society and to the underground economy of black society, the hustler class. Hustlers don't like dusty niggas, nor do they like hood rats. Dusty niggas can't cut it around no real hustlers either. You don't want no dusty nigga around the dope spots. You don't want no dusty nigga around the blade. If something go down, this emotional dusty nigga starts shooting, and then you make the whole blade hot. You make the whole block hot. Because some emotional dusty nigga that came around acting a fool can't control his emotions. Yeah. Y'all people get the game twisted. They get the game real twisted. Yeah. Let me get a couple more folks in here. Okay, where are my DC people? My people in DC got mad at me. My people in DC got mad at me. Where are my Washington, DC people? Because I make jokes about my cities. I make jokes about Atlanta. Because, you know, Atlanta got some real funny style stuff. And I put a video up of, there was a video clip somebody sent me of a dude. He was a thug. Some dude, he was looking like a thug. He had a white beater on. And he had some jeans that were sagging, but he had on some high heel shoes. And I said, this is how niggas in DC sell dope. And boy, some niggas in DC got mad at me. Some of the people in Washington, DC, like, oh, damn, why you do us like that? First of all, y'all know I love Washington, DC. Washington, D.C., one of my favorite cities. They support me a lot. Washington, D.C. shows me a lot of love. But y'all know good well, y'all got some moist fucking gangsters in D.C. Y'all know that. D.C., they got some homo thugs out there that I have never seen anywhere else. And y'all know it. Come on. Y'all don't lie. Y'all know what y'all got out there, D.C. Nigga, DC got, I'm not even exaggerating, they got LGBT street gangs out there, for real, and they're really about the business. I mean, real gangbangers who are like LGBT, for real, for real. They be sagging, but they be having on thongs. And these niggas is really with the business. And we've seen them close up. I've said the story many, many times. We might do Ola. We got stranded in Washington, D.C. I was out there doing a lecture, and we were kind of doing some running around, and this was before Uber, and the taxi drivers wouldn't pick us up. You know, the taxi drivers were on that funny style shit, and we couldn't get a taxi, so we were walking just for hours trying to find a taxi and trying to find our way back to the hotel. And we walked around and went over there around, I think, DuPont Circle, one of the places. And we ran into a gay street gang. And I was scared. Because I'm like, you know, one of these niggas tried to initiate us in the gang. Yeah. What if they try to jump us in? And then we lose. So yeah, I have never seen it homo thugs. These niggas had on white beaters and flip-flops and shit. I'm like, what kind of gang is this? These niggas are doing the most. They have bandanas around their heads, but the bandanas had rhinestones on them. I'm like, what kind of fucking gangsters are these? What the fuck kind of gangbanging is this? I ain't never seen rhinestones on a nigga bandana. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to walk across the street. I'm not, you know, trying to confront these dudes. But shout out, I love DC. Shout out to DC. You know. Let me get, we've got a lot of folks in here. Let's get, Okay, who we got? A lot of, what's up, brother Dominique? I see you, brother. We got a Red Joker, NYCT Girl. And by the way, guys, don't forget, we got a comedy vibe happening at the Hidden History Museum August 12th, Saturday, August 12th. That's in a couple of weeks. Get your tickets at hiddenhistorymuseum.com. And we're going to have a rap contest up there, so that's going to be interesting. And we're going to give $500 to the best rapper there. We're going to do the rap contest, then we're going to have the comedy show. And my man Dwan B is going to be hosting, and the comedy show is always phenomenal there. So get your tickets at hiddenhistorymuseum.com. hiddenhistorymuseum.com, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get, who else we got? Let's get Chemistry. Brother Chemistry in here. Brother Chemistry.
Hey, what's up, Tariq?
What's up, Chemistry? How are you, sir?
One legendary icon deserves another. Experience the all-new Chevy Blazer EVSS. See Barbie in theaters now.
Sup, Max? Happy vacay! You've got sun, sand, and me! A giant sit on your forehead!
Here I go.
Spray, spray! Woo! No, it would be so fun. Cover me with a sweaty synthetic hat, and I'll just chill under the brim, festering my little heart out. This is awesome! Another one! Gosh, I love it here. I wish I could stay here for...
Stick it to Zits. Mighty Patch Pimple Patches reveal clear-looking skin in 6 to 8 hours. Pimple, meet your Mighty Patch.
Oh, well, yeah, Kim.
Can you hear me, man?
I can hear you. What's going on, brother?
What's up, Tariq? Hey, man. First, pleasure meeting you. The 2023 FBA conference that the FBA.
Yes, sir.
Inspired by your work, inspired by your music, particularly. I sang to Bray and Layla at the 2020 conference. So
Yes,
sir. I was wondering, when is the next expo? Because I'm working on my music, inspired by your work. I want to perform.
okay. Well, I got to see some of the stuff you got, but I'll let you guys know when the next event is coming up. Well, those events, they take a lot out of you. Boy, those events take a lot. So I'm not sure when the next event is going to be. We're going to be doing a lot of events at the Hidden History Museum. That's what we're going to be doing. So a lot of people are going to have to come out to the museum. I got to hit the road too. I got to start, a lot of people have been wanting me to hit their cities up. So I keep everybody posted on that. Miss Kitty, hop on, Kitty. Am I saying your name right? K-City?
Yeah, K-City. How you doing?
I'm good, man. What city you
I'm in Chicago.
There you go. What's on your mind, man?
Well, thanks for holding this space and being on Twitter. You brought me to Twitter during the pandemic, but I was just wondering, do you plan on staying on Twitter? Because everybody seems to be, undecided about that. And do you think the SAG strike is due to the advancement of colored people? And they said something about top Black executives have been dismissed since the strike. I'm just wondering what your thoughts are on that.
Oh, God, thank you, dear. You know what? The problem is, I think in the industry, they're using AI to do a lot of the writing for them. They're doing a lot of stuff using AI and computers, so they're relying less on the writers. And I think that's becoming a problem for a lot of the writers now. And plus they're doing a lot of these reality-based shows where you don't have to pay the writers. You understand? So you can just kind of skip over them by just making everything reality-based. So, the writers are like, hey, come on, damn. So, I hope they get it together. Hope they get everything together. All right, let's get a couple more people in here. Let's get a couple more, because we got a lot of folks in here. Let's get Blue Ninja. Blue Ninja, didn't you? Your name sounds familiar. Blue Ninja, what's up, man? While we're waiting on Blue Ninja, we got a person called Democratic Coon. All right? So let's get Democratic Coon in here. That's his name. Democratic Coon.
Hey, what's up, Tariq? I didn't know if you was gonna let me up.
Yeah, why, yeah. Why is your name Democratic Coon?
Oh shit, you know, cause all the Democrat coups and shit, like the Boulay class and shit, it's just like focus on that, then pretty much.
No doubt. Okay, brother, that's what's up. I thought it was somebody who's about to come speak some truth, coon to power. So Blue Ninja, you good? What's up, brother?
Oh no, I can hear you loud and clear. I'm sorry for the last time. I'm just saying, hey, what up, brother? And been seeing a lot. Seeing that the deep state is trying to do their thing, but they're losing, and we're gonna get our stuff back. It seems like, but not doing no opium. There's no opium in this.
There you go. Okay, I remember it. Okay. Okay. There you go. He's gonna do a bunch of cliches. But God bless him. Let's get Maul. That's why I can't see from here, boy. Little Bigs. I cannot see worth a damn. Hold on,
Hello?
What's up, brother? I'm trying to look. I can't see the shit, man. What's your name, brother?
Mouth Little Biggs.
There you go, Mouth Little Biggs. What's on your mind, brother?
Doing, man. Yes, sir. I just want to, salute you, man. Thank you.
Yes,
for all
sir.
you do, for all the work you do, because people don't understand, like, what you do, bro, that take a lot of strength, a lot of courage, sticking up for our people, man. And it's I know it's a lot of people who don't express their thanks and gratitude for that alone, bro. You know what I'm saying? I just want to say thank you, bro. Thank you for the Hidden Color series. That was, a series that had a vital part in helping me step into consciousness and get on the right path, man, coming out to join and shit like that, bro. So I want to thank you. For real.
Man, that's real talk, man. Much love. I really appreciate that. And I like to see brothers, they get out of a situation and then they kind of rise up consciously about it, man. I really love and respect that. Did y'all see a post? I posted something earlier.
Because of these people, I'm beginning to understand real peace. Whatever it is that you and your friends do it somewhere else. You have 9 seconds to decide your fate. You know what,
You're still in a war, Nicole. All the mafia will come to destroy you.
Hurry up. Equalizer 3.
We found multiple bodies. You kill him?
Well, glad to kill him. Do September 1st.
You want Chuck to disappear? All you have to do is point.
I was on Twitter, making little greasy comments about black folks, like, black people are allergic to fathers or some shit. Like, there are no black fathers, something about black people are allergic to black dads or some shit. And he had some tweets talking about, he opposes reparations for us and whoop-de-whoop. So then, early this year, he was tweeting about his girlfriend that left him, and he's heartbroken and whoop-de-whoop. She done blocked him from all of the platforms. And then a few weeks ago, he was like, I'm not doing good. Everybody pray for me. And then one of his relatives popped up and said, we trying to get the funeral arrangements because old Derek, he died. So it sounded like he done took himself out or something. And they're like, he couldn't get over the broken heart and whoop-de-whoop, and condolences. And so people got some mixed feelings about it. They were like, well, should we take the high road, since he died, even though he was a suspected white supremacist? Should we mourn the tragedy of his death? Or should we smoke on some of them Derek packs? Is it good riddance? And the interesting thing, all of the other white supremacists are in the comments, oh God, you guys are so insensitive. That's what I don't like. Don't, if we choose to be sympathetic, that's our choice. Y'all not gonna shame us into being sympathetic for damn suspected white supremacists when you guys sit up here and mock the death of black people all the damn time. See, it ain't funny when niggas start, because people in the comments going in on dude, they mocking him, they clowning dude for getting murdered. And they're saying that it's possible that his chick left him for a black dude. So that's, the knife really went deep if that's the case. But yeah, these white supremacists sit up here and mock us all the time. And when the tables are turned, we're supposed to rise above it. We're supposed to take the high road. Nah, maybe, what if we want to go down your road? Maybe, what if we want to be like you? Y'all think it's funny and comical and satirical when somebody's is packed up out of here, right? Y'all made it cool to kind of get a kick out of somebody eating the dirt, all right? Y'all the ones made it cool. Y'all made it. Y'all sit here and make video games about Trayvon Martin and little video games and songs about George Floyd. Y'all be cockeyed and kikiing. But then all of a sudden, we supposed to, everybody got to bow down and bow ahead when it's one of y'all. Let me find out if that girlfriend left that dude for a brother. Because I'm still trying to find out who she left him for. Nigga, that would be funny. I'm going to keep it a buck. I don't like to mock anybody's death, but nigga, if this race is often so because this lady ran up on some soul pole, nigga, I'm gonna have to pull a little something out for the ancestors on that one, bro. I'm sorry. I gotta pull something out for the ancestors. That would be funny. That could be a new porn. Adam 22 can produce that. Shout out to Adam 22. Man, we got a lot of y'all up in here tonight doing what we do. And speaking of Hidden Colors, you guys, if y'all don't have the Hidden Colors movie, go to Hidden Colors, hiddencolorsfilm.com and go to buckbreakingmovie.com and American-Maroon.com to check out the movies, all of them. And hiddenhistorymuseum.com. To everybody give your contribution to the museum, keep the museum going. A very important Black institution that we created from the ground up. It's very important that we get all of the support we need for that. A lot of people ask what they can do. You can definitely support the Hidden History Museum at hiddenhistorymuseum.com. That's a very important institution because it's something that's for us, by us. You can come there and nobody's pushing an agenda in any kind. The only agenda is Black empowerment. All right? Should I get one more? Raise your hand. Let's get one more, because I'm not trying to be here too late. It's already almost 12:30 our time. So yeah, raise your hand if you want to get on. If you want to get on, raise your hand, ladies and gentlemen. All right. And I see a lot of y'all down here on the bottom. All right. Let's get, let me see which one. I want to get some new faces in here. Let's get FBA Pizzazz. FBA Pizzazz. What's up, brother?
Hold on to your saddles. Work on. Records are made to be broken.
Absolutely. I am Vulcan. I love logic.
Do I really sound like that?
Yes.
Use promo code WARP for a free month of Paramount Plus.
It's no wonder today's smart shoppers have made Harbor Freight America's #1 tool store.
Hello.
Hold on, my brother. How are you?
I'm good, Mr. Pizzazz. What's on your mind, sir?
Well, I was curious. Well, first of all, man, I go all the way back to like Made with You and all that stuff when you was on MTV. Got reintroduced to you when you came to St. Louis and turned things out during the uprising, man. And so much love to you, brother. Thank you for everything.
I appreciate that.
You know, when they're doing the movies like They Clone Tyrone and Us and like The Matrix, man, I was just curious, do you think they're trying to tell us something? Or is it more about, hey man, you know, it's just film. To me, I feel like it's a little truth in it. I just don't know how much truth.
Right, that's a very good question, brother. You know what? Because I think a lot of our directors, a lot of the black ones, they'll try to give us what's called eggs to kind of get the game out of. Because all movies, man, a lot of movies tell messages. Sometimes they give subliminal messages. A good filmmaker knows how to give a message without overtly saying it, especially black filmmakers. Just the movie Us, again, that movie, I think Jordan Peele threw some real good Easter eggs in there for us to catch. The whole narrative, to me, it was about immigration. The whole Us thing, and that's where we get the term tether. There's a lot of nuggets in there that we got to catch, a lot of allegories. Even the word, the name of the film, Us, that's another play on what? U.S., United States. And it was about these black people just living their lives, and then there's an underground of other black people who look like them trying to replace them. You dig? And you turn it into a horror story narrative, but the allegory is similar to immigration and hostile immigration. You understand? That's a real deep movie, and there's some other stuff that was deep about it. In the movie Us, remember when the Tethers were living underground, what were they eating? They were eating raw rabbits. And in slavery, do you know, black people used to view themselves as rabbits. We would use rabbit allegories for ourselves. We would come up with these allegories like Brer Rabbit. That was a popular allegory with black people because we saw ourselves in the same position as a rabbit, as in a system where you're powerless. So we studied rabbits and we saw that rabbits had to be more cunning and manipulative in order to survive. So then we created these Brer Rabbit narratives, this cunning, manipulative type of character that could outsmart and use his wits in order to get out of danger. So we viewed ourselves in the same realm as rabbits. So that movie Us, where the tethers are eating the rabbits, y'all, a lot of folks won't catch stuff like that, but that's some heavy shit. You're eating the rabbits, and you're trying to be like the people there. Heavy stuff, man. Real heavy stuff. But yeah, the rabbit allegory, many of us who were enslaved, foundational black Americans, we would use rabbit allegories for ourselves. That's why if you look at the old Disney cartoons, the Brer Rabbit, they would have everybody would be slaves. Remember the Brer Rabbit cartoons? Go look at all that stuff. Go look at all of that stuff. Look at the cartoons from back in the day. Those were very telling. You know? Real heavy stuff. Let's get Greg in here. Greg?
Hey, what's going on, Tyreek? This Greg.
I'm good.
This Greg from 313.
My man.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I just wanted to tap in and say, stay on these tethers bumper.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Real talk. Thank you, Greg. Let's get Dutch. Let's get Dutch in here. Dutch.
Hello?
What's up, Dutch?
This is my first time doing it. I just wanted to say I appreciate everything you do. And that's it. And that's
Okay. What city you from, Dutch?
I'm from Texas, but I'm from Houston.
There you go.
Older.
All right.
And they actually...
Your phone is hella janky, Dutch. I don't know. It's very late in Texas. Why is your phone that janky in the middle of the night? That means you're out doing something. I should have asked. I hung up on it by mistake. I should have asked, what are you out there doing? In Texas, it got to be like 2 o'clock in the morning. There's nothing open except taco trucks and legs. What are you doing out at that time of the morning, brother? In Texas. There's nothing out in the streets right now. So I hope you're safe. Well, whatever you're doing out there in the streets. Let's get Trent. Trent, hop on, brother.
Yo, what's up, Tariq? How you doing, man?
I'm good, Trent. What's going on?
Hey, yeah, they always get sensitive. Like, they, like, online, they be like, you know, George Floyd would have been so-and-so. So, you know, I hit them back with the, you know, January 6th was a great day. Rest in peace, Ashley Babbitt. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. It wasn't so funny that when they asked me Babbitt, oh, they wanted everybody.
Yeah.
Probably Ashley Babbitt. Yeah.
Thank
Thank you, brother. Yeah, when the black cop who produced Justice with Ashley Babbitt, all the Blue Lives Matter didn't matter no more, right? It ain't about believe all cops, protect our boys in blue. Wasn't all that no more. When the tables are turned. Yeah, and Ashley Babbitt, she's been trolling in my mentions before. If you go look at some of her old tweets, she would be in my mentions trolling her white supremacist gibberish. Yeah. Man. Yeah, one thing, white supremacists, boy, they hate to get punished by black people. Oh, any type of punishment from black people, that it's the end of the world. It is the end of the world for them. You know, it always has to be some kind of different parallel justice. We can't be treated like them. We're the ones, we got to do the punishment. They can't be punishing us now. But anyway, let me get out of here, guys. Go to hiddenhistorymuseum.com, make a contribution to Hidden History Museum, and also get your tickets for the August.
Welcome to Park Community Credit Union. Driven by our community and powered by its people. From finance.
Hunter is not off the hook. The first son's sweetheart plea deal getting blown up in a dramatic legal twist. Hunter Biden showing up in a federal courthouse in Delaware and pleading not guilty to gun and tax charges. The shocking development happened after the judge started asking just some basic questions on the terms of the original plea agreement, like what was and was not part of the deal. The judge was very concerned on whether Hunter could get blanket immunity from future prosecutions, and at one point said that she is not going to be a rubber stamp. The prosecutors also admitting that there's still an ongoing investigation surrounding Hunter Biden and potential violations of foreign lobbying law. The White House, well, you can imagine, not too keen to talk about any of this.
Hunter Biden is a private citizen, and this was a personal matter for him. As we have said, the president, the first lady, they love their son, and they support him as he continues to rebuild his life.
When the senator crafted gun legislation, as a president, he talks often about the need to get illegal firearms off of our streets. So when someone possesses one illegally, what does the president believe should happen to them?
I'm going to be very careful because I see where this question is going, and I'm just going to refer you, as this has been an independent investigation. It's overseen by the Department of Justice. I'm going to let them speak to this as they are moving forward.
Judge, there's probably a good reason that the Justice Department did not release the plea agreement for all of us to see, because when the judge started just asking some basic questions, it was pretty clear it was outrageous. They should be embarrassed.
Well, the deal was laughable, and the Department of Justice today is not in a good place. What normally happens in a plea deal, and I remember from when I was a judge, I mean, that the day you took pleas was a slow day. There was never any drama. Everybody understood the parameters of the plea. The defendant comes in, and the judge has to do an allocution to make sure that the defendant understands the parameters of the plea. And so the judge will be very specific about what did you do, what did you say, what were you thinking. In this case, you know, on a tax case, where did the money come from, who were you working for, and the tax years that he's charged for. But in this particular case, normally you would have, you know, the defense and the prosecution would have hammered this out. I mean, this would have been very clear. I've never had anything like that happen to me ever.
Wow.
Never. I mean, plea deals, they're hammered out because they know if they don't do it, they end up going to trial. So in this case, it was really laughable what happened. Because when the judge started the discussion and the intro to the allocution, it was clear that when she said, what is going on with this continuing investigation? And then the defense attorney started talking about immunity. And it appeared that they were thinking about immunity going into the future, not just past immunity, but immunity going into the future, which is something that is just not done unless you're at the very least cooperating and bringing in someone like a major drug dealer. So the allocution, as it was supposed to go forward, basically couldn't happen because once it was on the record, the Department of Justice had to say, it's a continuing investigation, and the judge says, so you might file more crimes, more charges, and they say possibly, and she says like Farrah, foreign agent, like Paul Manafort. And at that point, the attorneys started getting very uncomfortable because here's the insult, Dana. This was a deal where everyone was in on the con but the judge and the American people.
Right.
It was a con going down. They didn't expect the judge to ask any questions, and they said, you know what, we're going to get this through, and Hunter's going to walk out, and he's going to be just fine. And the judge was not interested in what had gone on in terms of, you know, they're saying that, you know, we're going to give him future immunity because she knew it was continuing investigation. And even if it isn't this Department of Justice, the next Department of Justice, if statute of limitations hasn't passed, can go after him. But she then said to the prosecutors, is there any precedent in the Department of Justice for doing something like this with both the diversion program with the gun, which she said was unheard of. And I've never heard of it. It's one of the things I've talked about. How could a guy go to plead guilty to a gun charge when he hasn't been charged with a gun charge? And they didn't have any answers to any of this. Now, this started, Dana, last night, right before the plea. There was someone who called to strike testimony of the whistleblowers. It happened on, I believe, on Tuesday or Monday of this week. From the transcript, the judge tracked the phone call. The judge found out that it was traced back to someone connected to Hunter Biden's lawyers. The judge is the one who found that out. So when that judge walked into that courtroom, she had a bad taste in her mouth from the beginning when they tried to strike the testimony of the whistleblowers. And in the end, the DOJ couldn't offer this deal and say with a wink and a nod, it's under investigation. And it was clear why they were doing it, to keep Congress from it.
You're probably going to hear a lot about this judge from the left, I would imagine. Some pretty aggressive scrutiny you imagine is coming. Remember, interestingly, she is the one, she ruled against the laptop repairman in his defamation suit. So I mean, it's not like she has been somebody who is just trying to help the anti-Hunter side, if we can call it that. Greg, do you remember when the Hunter lawyers announced this plea deal? They said, well, we have a plea deal and we consider this matter closed. And then the Justice Department said, well, actually, it still could be open. And then, well, maybe not, but maybe it is. And now we know that it's not closed.
Yeah. By the way, congratulations on winning that medal at the track meet.
Do you know that you say that every time I wear it? I mean that I wear this way too often.
It was like they did try to trick us, and they said, oh, this matter is closed, but it was as open as Hunter's robe. He determined, he demanded blanket coverage, probably the only time he's ever demanded a blanket. But I'm not a lawyer. Although people often mistaken me for one. I always thought that you plead for like the main big crime and then they forego the little ones. But in this case, it seemed like it was the reverse. It was like the little ones he only had to deal, but it was the big stuff he got away with. So I've always, I think this is good news, what's happening, because if this was you, would it go better or worse? When your last name is Biden, not only are you afforded exemptions from all kinds of ludicrous behavior, even the mention of going after him was seen as off limits by the press. You can go after Trump, that family, but how dare you go after the Biden family? This guy, he got a motorcade to court. I mean, who are they protecting him from? An angry pimp or the United Federation of Hookers? I mean, seriously, I get he's the son, but come on. I think when you see this, you know that they're being treated differently all the time. So I think that's why this is kind of an interesting twist, because I didn't see this coming, because I've pretty much given up on our justice system.
I worked with this woman named Eileen O'Connor at the Justice Department. She ran the tax division at Justice, and she had this headline in the Wall Street Journal, you'd go to prison for what Hunter Biden did. And maybe today, Jesse, people feel like at least the judge was willing to look at this and not just rubber stamp it.
I was happy when I heard it break. Americans are happy about it. We have not had a win when it came to justice in a very, very long time. They've been indicting Trump on a lot of BS stuff, and now we're finally starting to feel the momentum shift, and that's a good thing. We knew, as the judge said, there were shenanigans last night where they tried to make a phony phone call, an impersonation, a little dirty trick. I'm actually the Republican attorney. Can you strike this from the record? They got caught cold, so the judge is already angry going in. This deal was struck before the IRS whistleblowers came out.
Right.
This deal was struck before the bribe document dropped, the $5 million to the big guy. So the deal probably wasn't even paper. This might have just been a gentleman's agreement. Let's not put it in writing. So a lot's changed since this deal was done, and they get out there, and the minute it was scrutinized one little bit, the whole thing collapses. The Justice Department said, yeah, we might have to keep looking into this guy. And then Hunter's attorney's like, well, then the deal is off. We're not supposed to look into my guy anymore. And they tried to put it back together, and they went to chambers. They could not put this thing back together. Weiss, the Delaware prosecutor, at this point, now with impeachment on the table, does not want to be a part of the cover-up. Remember, you have the crime, and then you have the cover-up. If this goes to an impeachment hearing, they're going to look into obstruction of justice. Yes. And if the Delaware prosecutor is in on the obstruction, that's going to be a problem. So he tried to get a little distance from this thing. And the judge comes out with this gun charge. It's a felony gun charge, and it's just expunged for nothing. She's like, this has never happened before, and you're not giving me any discretion. Once you sign this deal, I can't even decide whether I like it or not. It's a done deal. So she said, get this garbage out of here. A lot can happen between now and September 1st when they have to actually come up with a new agreement. You have Devin Archer testifying on Monday. The guy's the inside man. He can sink it. And then you have bank records coming out later in the week with Comer. So this thing is only going to get worse for Hunter Biden, and that means it gets worse for Joe Biden.
Speaking of Joe Biden, just take a listen to him ignoring questions today about that.
Sam Adams, Summer Ale, Porsche, sunglasses, and a commercial. Nailed it.
My name is Mark Crash. My childhood was full of precious memories.
Do you remember, Harold, the White House at the time that this plea announcement was made, they said, case closed. We're all done here. And they basically were like, we're not going to talk about this again. And that is not what's happening heading into a pretty tough election.
Good to be back around the table.
Oh, yes, welcome back.
Say a couple of things. First, I think the process worked. For those who may say that our process is broken in the country and we have two standards, this was an example of there not being two standards. Judge is right. When you have a plea deal, the judge is often asking these questions to protect the defendant, because if the defendant is entering a guilty plea, he or she needs to be afforded the right to say that before the court, before the judge. So as these questions, basic questions were asked, what is inexplicable to me is how the agreement between, or the mutual understanding between the prosecution and the defense was not there. The defense believed that he would get immunity for everything going forward, even unrelated to the tax stuff and the gun stuff. Right. I thought there would be immunity for the tax and the gun stuff, but it's hard to believe that they thought there would be immunity going forward unless they had already agreed to that. Two, we learned from this there's an investigation, a continued investigation underway into Hunter and some of his business dealings. And three, I go back to at the start because I am relieved that the process worked. I'm relieved that the judge asked these questions. And I'm relieved that Americans, everyday Americans, are starting to understand how our process works. We shouldn't have cameras. I saw someone, maybe on our network lawyers, in which there were cameras and audio in the courtroom. I don't. But I am relieved and frankly gratified that the court asked these questions. And inexplicable to me is how the prosecution and defense were not on the same page going in. And we'll have to see where this goes.
They were, but they couldn't admit it.
Well, that's common.
That was, I think, what was so. Are you not embarrassed?
Well, that's common. What is clear is we don't know the answer to that, but we know this: the judge asked the right questions today, and it seems like the right outcome was what happened.
Well, there was no precedent. Okay, this was out of the ordinary.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page.
When you live with moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis, your day can be...
We're celebrating 50 years of hip-hop, right? I support that. I'm a child of the hip-hop generation. I grew up listening to hip-hop. My uncle was a DJ. I still remember him spinning the Sugar Hill Gang record. I remember all that. I grew up in it. Many of you grew up in it. You in your 40s, you grew up in it. 50 years of hip hop. I salute all the veterans. I salute all the pioneers. I salute the progressive artists. But let me say this. Are we going to sit here and act like hip hop has not contributed to the mass incarceration in the black community? Are we going to sit here and act like hip-hop has not contributed to the black-on-black crime in the black community, brothers and sisters? Are we going to sit here and act like hip-hop has not contributed to the conspicuous consumption that dominates Black America? I haven't heard a single serious conversation about the positive and negative impact of hip-hop on Black America. When we going to have that conversation? I'm talking to the pioneers of hip-hop. I'm talking to the leaders of hip-hop. I'm talking about the influencers of hip-hop. I'm talking to the artists of hip-hop. When are we going to have a serious Black community conversation on how hip-hop has helped, how hip-hop has contributed to Black-on-Black genocide? When are we going to have that conversation? When are we going to have that conversation on how hip-hop has contributed to the mass incarceration of the Black male? When are we going to have that conversation on how hip-hop has contributed to the sexual objectification of the Black woman's body? When are we going to have that conversation? When are we going to have that conversation? Because I'm going to say this right now. I'm talking to everybody in the hip-hop community. And let me say this. Hip-hop is only a subsection. It is a piece. It is a branch. It is a part of African culture. It is not the sum total. I want to be very clear. Hip-hop is a branch. Hip-hop is a piece. Hip-hop is an aspect. Hip-hop is a subculture of African culture. It is not the whole thing. You could dismiss hip-hop and you still have Black culture. I want to be clear. Our culture is much deeper, much greater, much wider, and much longer than 50 years. I want to be very clear about that, because some of you who don't know your history think hip-hop is the only culture we have. I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. When are we going to have a serious conversation about hip-hop? Let me say this to BET, and shout out to Tyler Perry. Shout out to Tyler Perry. I'm going to give my big brother Tyler Perry a shout out to go from rags to riches like that, to go from sleeping in his car to being arguably the most powerful Black man in the history of Black media. Tyler Perry. Maybe second to Bill Cosby. He may not have eclipsed Bill Cosby yet, but he right there knocking on the door. So shout out to Tyler Perry. My only hope and wish for brother Tyler Perry. My only hope and wish for brother Tyler Perry, now that you own Tyler Perry Studios, you own BET, you own VH1. My dear brother Tyler Perry, I salute you, my brother.
Coming
you
out.
are a shining example.
I'm coming out.
Black man can be. You married a Black woman and you have a Black son. I salute you, Tyler.
Coming out. It's a remote.
Sorry, man.
My name is Michael Clark. You need my ID?
What's going on, man?
Sarah Charmoli. She's threatening me. Orlando. I'm 1 month late on rent. Sarah Charmoli. She's threatening me. She's sitting there saying that, oh, I better get the fuck out. You know, all this is America, and this and that. Like, I'm a taxpaying citizen. I don't deserve that. Like, I've been paying her for over a year. If I'm late on the month because I'm mentally ill, and I sat up here and got fired from my job at the Red Cross, then why is she sitting here threatening me?
How's she threatening?
I got my phone right here. Can I show you the messages?
Haitian Revolution movie at, bro? Oh, yes. Where that Mary McLeod Bethune movie? Where that Ida B. Wells movie? Where that Denmark Beasley Slave Revolution movie, my brother? Tyler Perry, I don't expect you to do all this. I know you got responsibilities and obligations more than most of us. But in order for me to put you on my very short list of greatest Black men of the 21st century, you're going to have to evolve that content, my brother. I know you can't go straight into Black consciousness, but give us a BET woke, my brother. Give our children a BET baby. Nothing but positive Black cartoons, positive Black sitcoms, positive Black dramas, historically accurate Black news and miniseries. You can do this, Tyler Perry. You can do this, Tyler Perry. You can do this, Tyler Perry. I'm going to give you some time, my brother. I know it ain't easy. I know you got bills and obligations and responsibilities and commitments. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, good brother. But I'm saying, I'm looking at you as being possibly one of the few black
She
men
called me
I
today.
could put on
This
my
is
list
before.
of
I didn't record the one today while I was at work.
greatest black men movers and
She
shit.
called me today and she said, listen,
Tyler
you gotta
Perry,
come
I'm
up with
looking at
fucking
you.
something. You know, you're gonna get the fuck out. I'm going to all of these loops and this and that. And she's very threatening I got her address. I want to report this because this is harassment. She's calling me and texting me. Then people was coming to my house. I have no idea who the hell they are. You know what I mean?
Who came?
I think it was her mom. But she didn't let me know nobody was coming. And it's like people was coming in here whenever they want. You know, my roommates, we had issues, Ian and all them. And, you know, he left. But it's like this been an ongoing thing, you know, for almost 6 months now. And it's like, you know, she can't threaten me and, you know, try to force me out.
How's she threatening you?
Like, pretty much with the messaging and, you know, keep, like, saying stuff over the phone. You know, today she was saying, you know, like, get the fuck out, you know, you can't fucking stay here, and this and that. And I'm like, listen, you have to go to the courts and evict me. I need an eviction notice. And she's like, this is America, I do whatever I want. And, you know, I got it all recorded on YouTube, because I do YouTube about streaming or whatever. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to be protected because I'm paying taxes and dollars, and I'm sitting here having people, like, you know, intimidating me pretty much. Like, if I was to do what she did, I would be in jail already, and it wouldn't even be a question.
It's based off just a phone call, like with her saying, hey, you know, I need rent and stuff like that. That's a whole situation all on its own. I mean, there's from what we saw, what we heard, it sounds like she was saying, you know, the rent, stuff like that. As far as like someone saying, I'm gonna kick you out.
Yeah, she's like, you getting out, going out in the street, you know, like she's saying she's gonna physically put me out.
That's just that's between you and the landlord. That's the thing.
But I want to file harassment because now it's to the point where if I gotta defend myself, it gotta be paper. You know what I'm saying? Like, it gotta be something to say, hey, I'm defending myself, dog.
But what would we do? What would you write a report on?
That she's telling me that I gotta get the fuck out, and she's intimidating me. She got people coming in my house, and I'm telling me people's coming in here. You know what I mean? Like, that's suspicious, dude. Like, that's just suspicious, and I'm skeptical, man. And I'm scared for my life. So, like, there's something that gotta be done about it.
So is there any messages that show I'm gonna cause you physical harm?
She said it over the phone, and I didn't get a chance to record it today because, like, I was appalled. Like, I never heard her talk like that. Like, she was just straight up cursing me and like, straight up threatening me. And it's like, if I was to do that to a woman, I don't know what would happen. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta document this to keep myself safe and make sure that, you know, if anything happens, I'm defending myself at the end of the day. I'm on the defensive. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to hurt nobody. I ain't looking to hurt nobody. But if I'm mentally ill and I'm in a mental crisis, I got fired for my job, you know, all of this is going on, it's just going to spiral out of control.
Do you have thoughts of harming yourself or harming anyone else?
I mean, I wanted to kill myself plenty of times. I've been hospitalized 5 times. You know what I'm saying? Huh? Right now, I can't get hospitalized because if I get hospitalized, then I'm going to lose everything.
No, I'm talking about right now. Do you want to harm yourself? Or
I'm not going to say that, but I need mental health. I need someone, therapist. I ain't got no one. So if something happened to me, ain't nobody gonna know what happened.
We do.
Like, that's why I gotta call him. You see what I'm saying? That's why I gotta put the paperwork in, so to present everything to the judge.
Do
because
you want to speak with somebody?
Yeah, of course.
We can arrange that right now.
Yeah, I would like to have someone to talk to, man, because like I got mental health stuff going on. I've been hospitalized 5 times. Like, you know, I'm sick at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? But I don't got nobody to talk to about it. And then, you know, she's coming at me because I'm having a mental health crisis. She's like, I don't have the money. What do you want me to do?
Well, how about you let us help you then?
Yeah, I do. I do want to help you.
Let's go.
Huh?
We can go right now?
I can't go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would need just a number to call or a place to go because I gotta get some rest. You know,
Yeah,
I've been at work.
we can take you there.
I've been at work since 11. You know, I'm ready to go to sleep. You know what I mean?
We can take you there right now. He's there.
Yeah, I can't go nowhere right now. I gotta get some rest. You know what I'm saying? I want to fill out that harassment report and finish it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the most important thing to me. because, you know, she can't just threaten people and get away with it. Like, because if it was the other shoe on the other foot, a man can't do that.
Not necessarily. We take it as a totality.
A man can't threaten a woman or do that.
Well, no one's going to threaten anyone, period. So we can close the book on this chapter. Do you have any thoughts on harming yourself or anyone else?
No, but I'm saying I can't fill out a harassment report for that because
No. We're going to get to that. I'm just making sure you don't have thoughts on harming yourself or anyone else.
I ain't going to speak on the thoughts that come to my head because I got to get mental health. Like, I got to get a therapist, you know what I'm saying? So
I know.
I ain't going to even speak on that.
But we can't go anywhere until we get a yes or no. No, you don't have any thoughts on harming yourself or anyone else. Okay.
I ain't going to hurt nobody. I ain't going to hurt nobody.
Or yourself.
I ain't going to hurt nobody.
Or yourself.
I don't matter anymore. So it's just like, I just want to get the paperwork over with because I want everything to be out and over with. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just a true story. I ain't gonna know nothing but trying to fix my mental situation and my housing. If I don't got housing, then that's definitely gonna make it work. You see what I'm saying?
There we go. Yeah.
That's the only thing.
But I have to know, are you gonna harm yourself?
No.
Thank you. Okay. So you're not gonna harm yourself or harm anyone else.
Like, I was hospitalized 5 times.
I got you.
I
So
always was
in reference
suicidal.
to your phone and your landlord. In reference to her sitting there saying, no, you got to leave. That's not harassing communications. That's you two entered an agreement to say, hey, I'm going to pay you X amount, no matter what it is, blah blah. That's not harassing communications. That's not intimidation. That's just her saying, hey, you need to leave. You know, if you did choose to leave, if not, she could start the eviction process.
And if someone did come into your home and you did not know, and you did not know was coming, call the police and tell them that someone was breaking in your home. Okay.
Because my whole thing is like, you know, she just threatened. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
We can give you this run number though, because it's documented on our body cams that we're speaking to you right now. We can give you this run number, and because every run we make to hear like talk to you is connected to our body cam, is connected to the number that we got on our computer. So we can give you that number.
yeah, I need that because it's like,
I was just
I'm
about
in
to give
fear
that
for
to
my
you.
life, man, because I'm scared. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Not to give that to you, my man.
you know what I mean? The way she was talking, like,
Do you have a plan on getting the money somehow, or?
I just started another job. I've been working at Subway. I'm doing 11 a.m., 9 p.m. I'm trying to get as much as I can. I gave her my whole check. I'm on food stamps. I'm on welfare. You know what I'm saying? Like, I shouldn't have to be paying $1,100, but I don't have no other option. But, you know, it's like I'm scared, man. So it's like, you know, I need some help. You know what I mean?
That 23 number, about to give that CAD number. That's going to be. He couldn't have said it any better than what he just said, my man. Anything in reference to your landlord though, man, like that's.
Because my whole thing is I had to block her. But like, what am I
How do
supposed
you pay her?
Cash App. First it was Airbnb. Then it went to Cash App. It's like, you know, she forcing me into a situation where
When do you think you can pay her next? You don't want me asking.
it's gonna be, I mean, I was gonna make a payment this week, but my whole thing is I had to block her. I can't even communicate with this lady.
Maybe you should like
You
unblock
know what I'm
her.
saying? I cannot communicate with this lady because she's threatening me to the point where if I lose it, you know what I'm saying, and I'm in a mental health crisis, now she's baiting me in.
But does she know that? Does she know you are?
I told her that.
I
Multiple times.
can't tell you what to do. Alright? But I use the equations. There's a little stipulation in the big. If the landlord accepts any type of money from somebody renting, no matter the amount, no matter if it's the full amount, no matter if it's a penny, they cannot evict you.
I gave her $200 for this month.
Okay.
It's already a month late.
So-
You see what I'm saying?
I get you. So if you pay $100 this tomorrow or whatever, this week, $50, whatever. If you're showing payment, they can't evict you. Okay? And if they have to probably accept it through cash out. Screenshot that out, print that out, get receipt, like your own receipts of that, screenshot that you are sending money regularly, okay? Because they can't, no matter if they accept a penny, if they accept anything from you as rent, they cannot do, no matter the amount, okay?
Yeah, but it's no way that y'all can contact her and tell her, like, stop trying to
That's
intimidate
civil.
me,
That's all on a
harass
civil
me,
matter.
but she harassed me. I can't fill out a harassment charge.
So that the cat, in reference to what we saw, that cat number is basically everything we have here. But what you showed us, that's not harassing. So, but what he said is basically spot on. You know what you need to do. But in reference to like us contacting the landlord, saying, hey, go kick rocks, don't contact him. We can't get involved in that.
Like, I can't get a protective custody order because it's like, I'm
You
scared.
can go down to the courthouse, you can try. I can't say yes or no, but that you two entered into a civil agreement, and that's something that we can't touch.
Because, like, it's just menacing, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's to a certain point, I made a payment, I'm saying I'm going to get it working, showing her my schedule, and she just calling me, keep texting me, keep threatening me.
I'm sure it is stressful. I'm sure it is.
Yeah, it is.
That's the best we can do. I mean, you can go down to the courthouse and try. But save your stuff like that, like my partner was talking about, man, and just go from there. Okay. Yeah. Hopefully it all works out in the end. But
look, man, if anything happens, I'll give you guys a call. You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah, like you were saying.
Shouldn't nobody come in your home and you have no idea what.
Definitely call us.
We
Call
will.
if that happens. Call if someone's here. You know. We ride this area. We'll be right down the road, man.
Okay.
Be here a couple minutes, man. Does anyone else live here though?
There was a guy here again.
How long ago?
He left about 2-3 weeks ago.
About 2-3 weeks. Does he have any property here? Or you said it was a guy, right?
Huh?
You said it was a guy. Does he have any property here still?
Not that I know of.
If you want to, what I would do as soon as you leave, you shut your door, do it once over, see if you see any of his property. If you do, maybe kind of set it to the corner. And make sure, was your doors locked whenever they just walked in?
Well, it's a keypad, so.
They do the code, right?
Yeah.
So what you need to do truly is contact your landlord. I know you're sitting there saying you got a block, but you need to get that recoded.
Because the thing is, I don't want to start, and now I become the bad guy if I retaliate. You see what I'm saying? Because it's a verbal abuse. You know what I'm saying? And then that's how everything that's going on in the world is starting, and then everybody's on the edge right now. So now it just might be a simple confrontation. Like, I'm gonna get it, but then now it's gonna spiral out of control because you think you're gonna force me, and I'm like, I don't have nowhere to go. I'm going on the street, so it's just gonna be not good. You know what I'm saying? It's just not a good look.
You got your ID on you?
Yeah.
Mind if I take a quick picture of that?
Nah, man, because this is what I'm saying. I'm emotionally disturbed at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So it's like being handicapped almost, and you know, you getting pretty much bullied and harassed. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's not the way to go about the situation.
Thank you. New York State, huh?
Yeah.
What part of New York?
Well, I was in the Bronx.
You was in the Bronx?
I was in the Bronx.
I spent some
I've
time
been
in
all
New
over.
York.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Syracuse.
Okay, yeah, I was in Binghamton for a little bit.
Ah, no kidding. Been there.
Yeah, so it's like, man.
Well, my man, your phone number, you'll have to call her, say your phone number's in the round. I'll get your phone number, man, like you were saying. If anyone comes to the man, gives us a call. Obviously, you know, and I know, and my brother knows that someone knows your code. Probably one of your roommates said, hey, this is the code, just come on in. You truly do need to unblock her and get that recoded or something.
Because it's like, it gotta be another form of communication, because once you go that route, if I feed into it, either way, I'm gonna be the bad guy. Come on, be honest. Either way, I'm gonna be the one that's taking out and taken to jail because, you know,
we're not saying that.
I can't defend myself. You see what I'm saying?
It's a totality. I'm just saying we know someone else has your code instead of you. So, do you have any weapons inside the house?
No, I don't got no weapons. I don't deal with no weapons. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just trying to do it legally. You see what I'm saying? That's why I go to the police, because I'm a taxpaying citizen. But when you treat me like I'm a dog or I'm an animal and you telling me you're gonna do this and that, it's like, how do I, you know, defend myself?
Record those messages and stuff from now on those phone calls, okay?
You're a YouTuber, man. You got access to it.
Yeah, but I was at work, so I didn't even get a chance to, you know what I'm saying?
But from here forward.
You can download record apps on your phone.
Yeah. we got it locked up. Is there anything else we can do for you, man?
Take
I
care of
mean,
yourself.
I just try to give you a call, you know, let you know, and keep you updated, you know what I'm saying? Like,
We'll be here.
I really want to fill out that paperwork just so that, you know, it's stamped, that y'all know who she is.
Well, it pretty much, well,
But you got it on the body
that's
camera?
what happened.
Okay.
That's what happened. That's why we gave you the run number.
Yeah.
It's everything on that number is linked to this. So yeah, it just because it ain't,
Break it down.
it's there. Believe me, it's there.
Take care of yourself, all right?
All right, man.